What is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf. Today's show, we're going to be talking about Deagle and, of course, all of the things going on with that. We'll be right back right after this.
I was walking on the streets I knew when I saw that wave of blue. Tsunami big enough to get me, and it sure as hell gonna get you.
Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or the mods, anybody else on the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. All right, with that out of the way, we have a ton to talk about. My name is Adam, aka Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We have everything backed up for today. We're going to talk about Deagle Report shutting down. Of course, was he right? Was his report right? If you don't know who Deagle was or the Deagle Report, we actually did a special show on him about a month ago. Edwin J. Deagle was part of the government. He had many roles, including statistics and all sorts of weird stuff. But he had a website called the Deagle Report, and that Deagle Report actually took all sorts of data from all over the world, from all sorts of experts, all sorts of, three-letter agencies' data, and basically predicted that by 2025, our population would go and dwindle down to, one-third or two-thirds of what we are at now, or something. I think one-third of what we are. So it would go from 300 and something million down to 100 million. And a lot of people go, where do those people go? They took a lot of things into factor that. That, of course, was put together. Now, Edwin J. Deagle just passed away a month ago, so that may be part of the reason, but some say that that's not the reason because some people were trying to keep that going. So did they shut that down and now Deagle's not around to kind of keep it up? I don't know. I thought it was weird. Now it's just going to be gone. Now when you go to the Deagle Report, you'll see that there is nothing. It's a 503 service unavailable. Will it come back? Don't know. So we'll go over that and more again and point out kind of what Deagle, who he was, just kind of a brief outline of that. We're going to talk about many things, and everything is backed up today. So we make sure that we are not giving you information that is false by giving you a bibliography of our sources. Again, you can go to our website, marfooglenews.com, which has been newly updated. In fact, Dex just made it easier to navigate. Now you just look for this thumbnail. Again, Deagle Report shut down. And then when you click on that, you'll see right up here at the top, you'll be able to see every single authoritative source, independent source, every single story, document, tweet, video right there on the website for you to look at. This means that you can actually take a second device and follow along. So if we don't end up covering the entire article, you can go in your free time and end up reading the rest of it. Let's bring in Dex while I'm talking about him. Dex is my co-host / internet brother / tech guy. He's an incredibly smart guy and just so incredibly handsome. What's going on, Dex?
I'm not as handsome as you. Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
That's for all the people that go, we want a Dex cam, because they actually don't know what you look like. But yeah.
Disheveled hair and, stubble, when you don't have a camera on your face, you don't have to look that great.
Yeah, Dex is a retire early kind of guy. Okay, so let's go straight into it. First off, just want to let you know, if you're not getting notifications, a lot of people have said that they don't get the notifications. Make sure to get ours. We actually send a direct push notification directly to your phone. You can go to marfooglenews.com to sign up for our alerts as well. We have an email system, which we use rarely. The last thing that we just sent out was the Cowdemic alert, and that was well researched. It shows you what the ties are with one of the big Windows 10 guy, and how he is basically connected to every asset of the farming and all of this now. So make sure to go over there and check that out. All right, let's get straight into it. I want to thank everybody for coming in early, by the way. Really, really appreciate everybody. Elon Musk reminds us all that a bunch of people will probably die going to Mars. It says, honestly, a bunch of people will probably die in the beginning. Barefoot SpaceX founder Elon Musk told X Prize founder Peter Diamandis in a recent interview about the first crewed missions to Mars. It says SpaceX has had its sights set on Mars since Musk formed the company in 2002. And for years, Musk, who became a tech billionaire before the launch of SpaceX, had been very candid about the risks that come with the territory of human spaceflight to the red planet. In fact, in 2017, Musk said that the International Astronomical Congress that the first humans to journey to Mars should be, quote, prepared to die. Imagine that if you were the guinea pig on the first couple flights thinking this is it. We've seen movies several times where, in fact, there's been movies with the exact premise of going to Mars and being the first ones to go, and they don't know if they're going to die, and of course, it's a risky mission. I know that there are some of you out there that are screaming. There are some of you that say this doesn't even exist. This is all for show, and we're not really going to Mars. This is an argument that I think will soon, hopefully, be resolved. Because as I've said, me and you haven't gone to space. And me and you most likely do not know an astronaut. In fact, I think I said that last time, and one person responded, and they said I actually did meet an astronaut, or one's related to us. In that case, that's one person out of my entire over 300,000 people watching that knows an astronaut. Otherwise, we haven't been to space. We haven't shot a rocket up. All we can base our, opinions on is what we know from others. So I think it is going to be a wild thing because there is a huge group of people. They can't be underestimated. The people that do not believe in space or that believe in that do not believe in Mars or anything else and believe we're in a dome. You can't silence them either. Their opinion matters. Again, if neither one of you have been to space, then how are we going to prove anything? It says, going to Mars reads like that ad book for explorer Ernest Shackleton going to the Antarctic, Musk told Diamandis in the interview, which streamed live for over an hour and 19 minutes on YouTube on Thursday, April 22nd, referencing early 20th century British explorer Ernest Shackleton, whose ad for a crew of explorer read, "Men wanted for hazardous journey." It says, it's dangerous, it's uncomfortable, it's a long journey, you might not come back alive, but it's a glorious adventure and it will be an amazing experience, he said. You might die and you probably won't have good food and all of these things. It's an arduous and dangerous journey where you may not come back alive, but it's a glorious adventure. Sounds appealing, Musk laughed. Again, this is something I would love to get your opinion on if you had the chance. If you were one of the first people, put it in the comments below. Would you go if you would be basically, put in history books for the rest of humanity? Would you do this? Would you give up your family and your life to go to Mars, even if you did not know if you would ever return? Or what if they guaranteed you would not return and guaranteed you that you would die after a certain amount of time on Mars? Would you still go? I doubt that a lot of you will say yes, but there are some that say, I would rather leave a name for myself than live out a full, boring life on Earth. Let me know in the chat below. Again, we're going to pop over to the chat here in just a second, but of course, inside Skinwalker Ranch, which we've actually talked to several people, for some reason, being in this niche, we've actually talked to several people, and I know people that, of course, are, somewhat connected to Skinwalker Ranch. In fact, we've had callers. UFO hotspot probed by the Pentagon, where cows are found inside out and the soil is radioactive. It says a specialist team has been recruited to probe Erie Skinwalker Ranch, where the Pentagon funded a top secret study into UFOs and alien life. It says the isolated spot is the center of some of America's most baffling mysteries, including the horrific cases of cattle mutilation and sightings of bulletproof, shape-shifting creatures. Dex, this is a weird one for sure.
And this was out in mainstream, and yeah, the fact that they're looking into it. I mean, we all look into it. We've talked about it, like you said. I know we've had many callers that have called in and told us about experiences or trips they plan there. Yeah.
And I mean, we didn't, and I know people that are kind of my colleagues that have gone there, and then they're friends with the owners and things like this because they did the contact in the desert and all of that. So really funky stuff here. And now I can't believe that the Pentagon is actually probing into this. What a word to use, too. Scientific research carried out at the sprawling ranch, which covers more than 500 acres of northern Utah, has also revealed unexplained levels of highly dangerous radiation in the soil. Real estate tycoon Brandon Fugel bought the ranch from paranormal enthusiast Robert Bigelow and has since given full access to a research team headed by Dr. Travis Taylor, who has worked for the U.S. Department of Defense and NASA. So I would think that this would give kind of credence to some of the people that say that they are going to do this kind of fake thing where all of a sudden the entire world gets under one guise of it's us versus them, right? There's a lot of people that believe that there's going to be some event that makes us all, just unify immediately and get under one rule because the bad guy is out in space. If you guys know what I mean. It says real estate tycoon, of course, and then Dr. Taylor, full-scale investigation is now the focus of a new 8-part series being screened on Blaze on Wednesday nights called The Curse of Skinwalker Ranch. The Sun Online was given exclusive access to the clips of the show, which reveals the probe into the ranch, which has attracted top stars fascinated with paranormal, including Robbie Williams and rapper Post Malone. I don't even know who Robbie Williams is, but I know Post Malone, the guy that does beer commercials now. Mr. Fugel said as early as 1911, the homesteaders started seeing unexplained phenomenon. By 1979, there were a lot of UFO sightings being documented. People who visit the ranch have had really acute medical episodes, everything from nausea to perception-altering experiences and even temporary paralysis. What if there's just radiation from some, ancient, WW2 test or something, and everybody's getting radiation sickness and seeing things? Who knows? Have you been to Skinwalker Ranch? Let me know down below. Have you known those guys? Do you know the new owners? Apparently, I think we knew the person who was the previous owner. But Scooby-Doo Do Right, thank you so much for supporting. Grizzly 1967, thank you so much. Stormy Weather, thanks for popping in early. Says, yep, just because I have always been interested in space. And then Lisa K23 says, poor cows. Yes, very poor cows. And by the way, if you don't know some of the stuff that's happened in the last 2 years that we've reported, they have had mainstream media and multiple peer-reviewed studies on this, and some of these cows will end up without parts of them, but there's zero blood, and the cow will have zero blood in its body. Somehow they drain it, they do everything surgically, but not leave a single trace. It's very weird because if you end up doing what they did to these cows, there should be a mess, or at the very least, some markings of cuts. But apparently, it's so surgical that they even think in some cases that it might be a foreign adversary's technology cutting into them. I thought that was a weird one. I haven't heard that one before. So, like, say a Russia or China had some sort of thing and they're testing it on our farm animals out in the Midwest, or in Oregon or wherever.
Is it possible that they're doing this report to get ready to include it in the report coming? What is it, June 1st, I think?
Oh.
The big reveal, right? That they're supposed to have.
Yeah, and again, what are we going to see from this huge report? What are they, are they now reaching out to all these far kind of things that people have kind of gone over for the longest time? There's lots of areas just in the United States, and I'm not sure about, UK or Australia or NZ or any of these other places. But, do you have local areas where a lot of people have seen stuff? If you're in the UK, like Gem or someone like that, do you have a place where you guys go? And do you have tourist traps where it's like, hey, we see a lot of stuff out here? Let me know. And then Truth Wins. We've got T. Crean. Thank you so much. Lovable. Thank you. And then Northern Joseph. Happy birthday, Adam. All the best on you. Thank you. I've got about 12 hours left, or 6 hours left until I'm 35. Absolutely insane. But thank you so much. And then, yeah, let me know if there's something that you've seen, or if you're in a small town and all of a sudden 3-letter agencies are just commencing down on your small town checking this stuff out. Let us know. And then we have ISS cameras film mystery V-shaped UFO soaring past just days after SpaceX encounter. It says a UFO conspiracist has left viewers baffled after capturing an odd-shaped craft hurtling past in front of the ISS cameras in space. The footage came just days after SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule narrowly avoided a UFO, allegedly, during its journey to the International Space Station. That's, of course, where the actual astronauts were told that they were most likely going to hit, or had a huge probability. They thought they were going to hit something, and then all of a sudden it turned, or it changed ways, and it didn't hit. It says Graham, who was watching NASA's live footage on Tuesday, captured an unknown flying object, quote, revealing its true form as the ISS was going over Indonesia at around 7:30 p.m. So, we have this video posted. I don't know it yet. It does have a screenshot here. But this was supposedly the object. Now, if you want to see the full video, you can actually go to marfooglenews.com and you can see the entire article with all of the appropriate links. What do you think about this? Did you see the original video? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? Do you think it's a space rock just floating by? I don't know. We keep seeing this stuff. Remember just a few years back, the ISS feed would cut out all the time? I haven't heard much of anything about them not cutting it or cutting it anymore. Can you guys let me know that follow this? Do they even cut it anymore? Are they just like giving up on covering, this kind of stuff up? Maybe this is truly some stuff is going on, and before they would cut the feed every time it happened and then delete it from the roster. Now it seems like they're catching it all the time, and I haven't heard much about, we saw this thing and then the feed cut. Just up until last year or 2 years ago, it was like they were cutting it all the time, right when a bunch of people would see this stuff. People would be watching the live feed, and then something would pop in, and then boom, it would cut. I mean, it was too much to be kind of a coincidence, right? Are they still cutting it? L Luna 3377, thank you for the birthday wishes. Zippy Moons, I appreciate that as well. And then, let's see here.
Well, real quick, Adam, the other thing we got to think about is why all of this information now. We just talked about the big release coming out in June, but the media has been covering this space stuff, whether it's space junk, the near miss with the capsule. Now they're talking about, this UFO captured on the cameras. It is happening more and more and more, right? They're bringing it to the forefront. So there's a reason for that, right? Either the reason is it's just happening, or they're meaning to do this, right?
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's really weird how all of this stuff is popping up all at once. In the last 2 years, we've seen so much of this. It's incredible. Faithful Prepper, by the way, says, can't thank you enough for all you do. Thank you so much for your support there. And then Keith Dyke, thank you for being one of the last ones out from Canada. And then Amber in the box. I'm trying to see if I can see your entire message here. Hold on. Let's see. It says, I know I already LOL'd about my BF, Giant Tyrant, being on the phone with y'all and was being pulled over at the same time. He was on a way to see a launch. He catches amazing footage, and you should really look at his stuff. So I guess that's pretty funny. Amber in the box, no worries. And Giant Tyrant, I appreciate your thank you note that was on that video yesterday. You do deserve it. I think that you are actually trying really hard on your channel, and I hope a lot of people check out your channel. If you guys didn't see the new video on news, we posted that video of him basically showing us one of these space missions. And again, they're using the weirdest patches. They make this patch and this kind of, Dex, I don't know what you would call that, but like a coat of arms for every flight. And they're using the weirdest symbology in that psychedelic research patch. I actually didn't look until I looked back at that video. that there's a UFO in it, and you can see it abducting people from Earth in the little patch. I thought that was super weird. And then the moon had sunglasses like an FBI agent. And then if you saw the patch video, there was for that, the main one, it has the Lord of the Rings ring with the Eye of Sauron, and it says one satellite to bind them all, one satellite to find them all. Very creepy stuff. So very good thing. But while we were talking to him on the phone during last night's show, he was pulled over by military police, or an MP basically pulled him over and was a super nice guy and said, hey, I'm not going to tell you I told you, or don't say I told you, but you can come back tomorrow if they launch, or you can stay here after the beach is closed. So super cool guy. By the way, the phones are open tonight, just for a couple calls, because this is a shorter show. But if you do want to call, you can call in at 224400-MARF. Again, that's 224400-6273. And then, of course, press option 4 to get Dex live. Let's see here. And then if you want to support the show, I highly recommend looking into an EMP shield. Right now, there are a lot of reasons why the entire country, let alone the entire world, should have these. But again, they have just 2 days left on their sale if you wanted to protect yourself against not only solar flares in your devices, but EMP protection, all 3 phases, E1, E2, and E3. And then, of course, you can also protect your generators, your solar system, your house, your home, your boat, your RV, even your ham radio. You can protect with a device from these guys. On top of our $50 off that you always get, you will also get their huge sale, which again has been going on all month. You only have 2 days left. That's at marfuglenews.com/EMP. Not only do you get a discount, but you also help an independent channel. We are completely on our own. We do not have a multi-channel network, and we really do appreciate everybody that does that. Otherwise, though, I would highly recommend looking into some sort of protection for it. If you don't go with them, make sure to look into this, because I do believe it will end up saving lives. If we have a blackout scenario, up to 90% of us would perish just here in the United States. If we were hit with a worldwide Carrington event type thing, that would be even worse. So you can protect your stuff and your generator and all of your ways of producing power with one of these. All right. And then let's get into the next one. France carries out unusual ballistic missile test as American spy plane looks on. French authorities have confirmed that the test involved an M51 submarine-launched ballistic missile fired from a land-based facility. So, wow. So, even France is getting into this. France says it successfully conducted a test launch of an M51 submarine-launched ballistic missile earlier today from a land-based site on the country's northwestern Bay of Biscay coastline. Online flight tracking software also showed that the U.S. Air Force RC-135S Cobra Ball aircraft, which is specifically configured to gather intelligence about ballistic missile tests, flying near the weapon's inert payload, was expected to impact the ocean north of Bermuda. No wonder the Bermuda Triangle is so weird. You got all that radiation there. Warning notices ahead of this test had indicated certain peculiarities as the war zone explored earlier this week, which had prompted discussion about whether this might have been a test of the new M51 variant or even a hypersonic. It says the French Ministry of Armed Forces issued a statement on the launch of April 28th, today, stressing that the missile was not carrying any live nuclear warheads at the time and that the impact area in the North Atlantic was, quote, several hundred kilometers from the coast. The statement confirmed that the test was carried out from the DGA SS des Missiles, the SS de missiles fragile, the country's central ballistic missile test facility. It is very possible that the weapon was fired from a submerged platform there, which simulates a launch from a submarine, and that it has been used in previous M51 tests. France conducted another M51 test across the Atlantic last year, but fired the weapon from a Triumphant-class ballistic missile submarine, La Téméraire. Témé. I think that's how you say it. This test was carried out in strict compliance with France's international commitments, according to translation to the French language statement. This shot, carried out as part of the M51 program, once again demonstrates the excellence of high technology that French industries are implementing in this field. So there's actually a video of part of the test here. It is going to be linked on our website. We're not going to play it over copyright, but again, you can check this out on our website. All of these are available on marfooglenews.com. France, you know, we don't talk about France as much, but all of our allies are beefing up their forces. All of our allies are moving stuff around. That's what again, if you're watching from France or anywhere else, let us know what you are seeing. I heard that there were tanks moving around French cities, but they chalked it up to say that they were just doing it as a exercise. Do you guys know, if you're in France, if you could let me know what that was all about? And then some said that it was in response to some sort of protest and it was just a precautionary. I don't know. But I do know more about the kind of stuff that U.S. is doing. U.S. is building temporary hospitals in Alaska, moving artillery up there, moving whole teams. And then when you look at some of the plans that have been declassified from WW2 and even on into the 70s, some of the plans that have come out of how these other countries or adversaries, Russia and China, would actually take the United States. If you look at the paths that they would, if they were to take us over, would be through Alaska, through Central America, and through Mexico, and through the two coastlines. So it just makes me think. And then some of the secret stuff that they're putting in. I heard in California off the coastline, they're putting these boxes that pop up. The only reason I know that is because construction workers are saying that they are getting public contracts to basically make these kind of, what do you call them, SAM missiles, and they're going to be beefing up our coastlines for anti-air. Now, I don't know if they're going to replace those SAMs with like anti-drone technology. I think that that's what they should do, because that is now, according to all of the experts and what we've researched, is the biggest threat for the coastlines, is thousands of drones coming in off of, say, a launch off of off the two coastlines. If it ever happens, this is how they say that they would do it. So I just wonder, what else is going on? Do you guys know? Let me know. If you have information, give us a call. Again, if you want to call in, 224-400-MARF. All right, and then let's see here. Thank you, everybody, for letting me know, too. Last night on D-Live, the stream ended up going on longer. It was just our thank you thing on repeat after Jimmy the Lip was hosted. Always let me know, by the way, if you ever, if something like that happens, make sure to let us know. I know a few of you did, and I thank you for that. Luckily, it was just kind of a loop. All right, so hold on here. I'm going to pull up the show because it looks like there's some technical difficulties here. All right. And then Dex, if you do have a call here, I can't see it for a second, so if you want to let me know, you can. Otherwise, I'm going to open this up so I can see. Okay, why don't we get them on live, and then... Okay.
I'll go ahead and give you a heads up. It's Bones and Tubbs show.
Okay, perfect. And then thank you. So I did miss people. Project Exodus says, stay awesome, guys. Thanks for all you do. Project Exodus, that's huge support. Thank you so much for supporting Independent. And then, of course, we have Candace Thompson. Thank you, Marf and Dex, for all you do. My spidey sense tells me that in June, the full disclosure is going to coincide with a major event to usher in the NNO. I don't want to say anything because people will, of course... I don't exactly disagree with you. I think that we are looking at a big event that is about to happen, but, we never want to put dates on things. Bones and Tubbs. All right, let's get Bones and Tubbs on.
Marf, how's it going?
Hey, how are you doing? What's going on?
I'm doing pretty good. I just got through on the first try. It's pretty awesome. I'm very curious to see your opinion about this. When I talked to Dex, he was talking about the story you just told about the UFO sighting, I believe it was after the SpaceX launch.
Oh, yes. So we covered that the other night, I believe.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you think it has anything to do with this project they've had since about the 90s, dealing with satellites and projection?
Oh, the beam of blue? Is
Yeah.
that what you're talking about? I don't,
Absolutely.
I've actually heard a lot of conflicting information about the blue beam stuff as far as the satellites. I the only reason is because I've heard that there's actually better technology that wouldn't even need those kind of satellites to project an image.
Okay.
As I don't know if you saw what happened in Dubai with that fake moon, fake double planet. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was wild.
So, but that's actually on the low end of things. Now I believe that there's technology that can actually project things from the ground, and you would not be able to see where it's projected from. Or you could do it from 3 planes, which I thought was even crazier, because how would you project a solid image? But I guess it's the same kind of reverse technology as like the stabilization in your phones, but for a projection. And this would be on a massive scale using the technology that they've actually perfected for giant 35, or not even 35, like 105 millimeter film for, what do you call it? The films, IMAX films. I think it's bigger than 30, bigger than 35, to keep those cameras stable when they're, chasing after tigers and all of this. But what I heard is that the military looked at some of the technology in gimbals, and they grabbed it at one of these conferences and said, hey, we want to use this. Can we use it for a projector? So something going out, not in. And then the company, somebody who ended up being a Fugel fam, said that they snatched them up and got them in a contract. So I think, I don't know. But I do know that a lot of people are expecting, when this report comes out, for something, big things to change. Look at what we've already found out. That officials are saying that they've already recovered parts of something that wasn't made here on Earth. How is that sliding past everybody? And that the results and the truth behind it will rock everybody's world. This is what officials are saying. That's insane to me.
I've just been on I've had this on the back burner for a long time with the UFOs and everything else. I honestly didn't think about it a whole lot. Now it just seems like it's everywhere. I don't know I don't know where to go with it. I know you talk to a lot more people than I do, obviously, but what's your gut tell you? Do you think it's legitimate, or do you think it's a control mechanism to bring about the one
planet
group, if you will?
I don't know. But I do see that everything else, do they even need it? Because look at what they're doing here on Earth. Look at what they're doing with several events that are happening right now. Do they need...
Yeah.
I guess that would be an easy way to do it without taking any lives, right? I don't know.
Wasn't it Reagan that had the speech at the UN where he said something along the lines of, you would need an existential threat to bring everyone together?
Yeah, and I
know they've definitely made leaps and bounds over the last year with that progress, but at the same time, a lot of people, they seem to be at least fighting back against it. And I just wonder if something that fantastic would kind of bring them into the fold, if that makes sense.
Well, and he said basically that there was a force that was outside this Earth that we could all unite under. And some people say since Reagan and since that time that all of this was in the making. There's videos from back in the 70s and 60s that it's like so scarily predicted what's happening today that it almost makes you wonder. Because, people say, oh, well, this hasn't happened yet. Oh, the boy who cried wolf. Eventually, we'll meet the wolf. And eventually, the sky will fall.
Oh, sure.
And these things take decades. This is an entire planet. If, just say, hypothetically, allegedly, apparently, whatever other words, so I don't get in trouble here. If this was to happen, it would have to be the biggest plan in history. And it wouldn't take 2 days to put together.
Crazy times for sure.
But I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see in June. I I believe that they're trying to rapidly evolve people in general. So.
Yeah, kind of get them used to it by saturating the media with it for them to come out with whatever it is they want to use or admit, I should say.
Now, did you change your channel? Is this your channel, Chainbreakers Ministry?
No, I'm helping a buddy of mine manage this channel. He's been ministering, I should say, I guess, for a number of years, but he's always wanted to turn it into something farther reaching, I guess, with the focus of trying to break addiction. So that's what I wanted to call in and promote tonight if I could.
All right. Well, everybody, if and it sounds like he is trying to help people, it looks like. And
yeah, it's all about breaking the chains of addiction through the word of God, and he's got that fire, as they say.
All right. Well, hey, everybody, I would say that if this is a positive message, that we should be doing a love mob here. Chainbreakers Ministry, make sure to tell him Marf sent you. And then again, it looks like he is doing something good for people, and I'm sure there are some people in the audience that most likely need to hear something like that. So again, thank you so much for using your time, not for your own show, but for someone else's. And then this is Bones and Tubbs show. If you guys haven't checked him out, all the links will be on our website. If you want to find Chainbreakers Ministry or Bones and Tubbs show, make sure to go to marfooglenews.com, and under the callers, you'll see all of the appropriate links. Well, thank you, Bones and Tubbs. I appreciate that, and you have a wonderful night.
Well, thank you, Marf, and thank you, Dex. You guys keep doing it.
All right, you have a good night. Be safe, be prepared. Looks like I did miss a few people here. Thank you guys for being patient. Be best. Let's see here. Be best free. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for your support there. You didn't say anything. Oh, Wise Owl. Mr. Humility says, finally caught a live show. God bless Marv, Dex, and all the Foogle fam, and big thank you to the mods. Thank you. And then thank you, Adam and Dex, the only real news. Diana, thank you for your generous support there. And then GBP, what's Oh Wise Owl? Thank you so much for the super sticker. Rapture Watcher Jesus is coming, says, I really want to live on Mars myself. I just need a golden ticket. Survive like the Martian movie. Thank you, Adam and Dex, for all you do. Foogler for life, says Pixie Sticks. And then Perfect Truth. Hi, Adam, Dex, and mods. May Jesus bless you all. And then, of course, Project Exodus. I appreciate that. And Leah, sending my love and utmost respect to Mrs. Marf. Awesome. I don't know if she's in yet. She usually pops in the chat at some point. She's got her hands full with our daughters and our new son. Sending my love. Thank you, Ilea. I appreciate that. And thank you for sticking around. Dano Martinez, hello fam, Adam and Dex from Salt Lake City. Much love. I know Dano, says hashtag I know Dano. And then Kevin Foogle fam, Joe Blow gives Camelot a lot of 5 trillion stimulus package. We are getting new Timberland boots, y'all. Don't get the JAB. It's nasty. Keep wearing N95. Speaking of N95, I hope N95 heroes around there. Thank you for all joining us. And then Candace, I appreciate that again. Over on D-Live. Thank you guys. Okay. Let's get back to it. It says Brussels wants swift shutoff. Halt to Russian energy use if Ukraine aggression continues. Now, remember, they said that they were doing a partial pullback, but then they continued shelling. They are not doing what they're exactly saying, but also Ukraine is not doing exactly what they were saying. I've heard many conflicting stories, and now that we have a few locals that are in both places, they said that it is not what the world is painting it out to be. Everything is different. I believe, this is just my personal belief, that, and I'm not trying to go against anything here, but there are different parts of our government that may be involved. That is my personal opinion, and that this does have some sort of use to certain people at the top, in my opinion. And I just want to clarify that. because we make sure to back up everything we say, and if it is opinion or something else, then we let you know. Tensions in conflict-torn eastern Ukraine between Kiev and the breakaway Donbas republics escalated this spring after the Ukrainian government mobilized its troops, prompting Donbas leaders to express fears of general offensive. Moscow, which serves as a guarantor of the Minsk peace agreements, has urged calm and warned Kiev against any escalations. It says over 15 European Parliament lawmakers have tabled a resolution proposing disconnecting Russia from the SWIFT payment system and halting the purchase of Russian oil and gas supplies if Moscow's alleged aggressions are continued and destabilization of Ukraine. It says hostile behavior towards and outright attacks on EU member states and societies escalates into military action. Now, Dex,
That's a huge blow.
Yeah.
That is a huge blow.
So, right there, let me read this one sentence. Proposing disconnecting Russia from the SWIFT payment system and halting the purchase of Russian oil. Right there, that is a big sentence. And gas supplies if they don't stop, right?
Yeah, that will shut down their ability to transact cash, through the rest of the world that uses SWIFT, which is huge. That's a big deal. And then, they'll probably turn their noses up at it and say, we'll do our own things because they have their other allies. But still, it does have a huge economic impact if they turn that off.
That would be fighting words. Them be fighting words. To put that simply, them be fighting words. In a draft resolution tabled on Wednesday on Russia, the case of Alex Navalny, the military buildup on Ukraine's border, and Russian attacks in the Czech Republic, the group of mostly Eastern European lawmakers suggested that if the current tensions over Ukraine turn into an outright Russian invasion, imports of oil and gas from Russia to the EU must be immediately stopped, while Russia should be excluded from the SWIFT payment system, and all assets in the EU of oligarchs close to the Russian authorities and their families in the EU need to be frozen and their visas canceled. Now, these are, of course, threats, right? If this did happen and if we saw this actually happened, hell would break loose. So it's always a matter of if this actually happens, and if it does happen. We are on so many different fronts of a world conflict. I don't understand how people don't understand that all it takes is one link in the chain to break. Right now, we are held up with toothpicks all around the world. It's like a giant Costco pallet of eggs being held up, and the reason it's so strong is because it's on 10 million toothpicks. Well, you remove a couple of those toothpicks and it starts losing its strength and stability. Then all of a sudden it crumbles. Then it smacks down and all of the eggs break. There are so many different countries that are in kind of this power struggle right now, and you've got the USA basically pushing down as it goes on all of these different countries that try to pop up and put their currency or their gold back, or their oil sales, or their they want to get to number one, or at least get equal to number one. And the USA historically has always pushed it down. But after a series of events, which a lot of people think may have been done, say on purpose to install certain people into certain places, who knows? Don't know. What do you guys think? Over on DLive, Kelly2334, thank you so much for your support tonight with two Ninja Guineas there. Melissa CB, Tiptoe Around, Bear Claws, James42, thank you. Lisa K43, and then, of course, Luna 37. Zippy Moon says, love my DLive crew. Hit that thumbs up on YouTube. Be prepared. 2 weeks later, food, medicine. Good suggestion. And then Corp. NASA, if any anomaly, JB will explain. I like it. Cindy and Miss Me Too, Out of the Woods, thank you. And then Jammer, thanks for being a mod, and you don't have to support. I know you like giving out Morphia badges, which is really cool. Thank you. We've got to do something special for all of you mods. Blinken says U.S. pullout from Afghanistan could lead to civil conflict. Talent takeover. Says Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said Tuesday that President B's plans to pull U.S. forces from Afghanistan by September could lead to a civil conflict or another Talib takeover. It says that is certainly a possible scenario, the top U.S. diplomat said on CNN, adding that no one has an interest in renewed civil conflict in Afghanistan. Certainly, the Afghan people don't. Neither the Afghan government or the band, none of the Afghanistan's neighbors do. Neighbors and other countries in the region have basically been free riders for the last 20 years, as we've been engaged there with our NATO allies and partners, Blinken told host Jake Tapper. Those countries are now having to go decide, given their interest in a relatively stable Afghanistan, given the influence that they have, whether they are going to try to use that influence in a way that keeps things within the 40-yard lines. It says, quote, so a lot of people are having their minds concentrated by the president's decision. Blinken stressed that despite the imminent withdrawal, so he says that we're taking these people out, which we've said 50 times, the U.S. is not disengaging from Afghanistan, which, again, this act actually pissed off Russia because Russia said if we destabilize them, they're going to be mad at us.
The irony is they spent a whole lot of time there before us, right?
You mean Russia?
Yeah, they were there forever, and then they didn't get anything done, and then we've been there forever and barely got anything done.
That's I don't have an analogy good for that. I thought I did, and then I thought about it, and I said, okay, I'm glad I thought before I spoke. All I hear is whale sounds. He made his remarks shortly after senators from both sides of the aisle voiced their concerns during a Foreign Relations Committee hearing that the withdrawal would lead to a Taliban resurgence, reverse gains made by Afghan women, and endanger hostages and Afghans who worked with American forces. It says the lawmakers grilled B administration's Afghanistan peace envoy, Zalmay Khalilzad, about how women would be protected if the Taliban take control after the U.S. withdrawal, and threaten to withhold funding if rights gains are reversed. So okay, first off, what are your views on this? I'm not an expert on this scenario, but as far as we've been there forever, and if something goes down, then I guess the reasoning they put behind this is if we leave, then this group that attacked us in 2001 will, have a resurgence. Do our 8,000 soldiers really have that much pull there that they're stopping any of that from going on, or a resurgence? I don't, part of it is like if you go back to all of 2001, a lot of us know that there's a lot of fishy stuff regarding that. And there was no, weapons of mass destruction. There was all sorts of things, and missing money, billions of dollars, a ton of gold, just disappeared. So when you go back to that and then look at what's happening now, it's like,
since 2001, we've sacrificed 2,300 soldiers, U.S. there.
Which, that's almost as many people that passed away during the actual event of 2001. I don't know. Why is it I guess why is it our job is my opinion, but what's yours though? Tower Bear, I don't care. Says, yeah, that's the whale I love. I love that shite. Yeah, the whale. I love that shite. I love Dachshunds. Thanks, Adam, Dex, and Mods for all you do. And then Red Storm, thanks for popping in. Woman of Wonder. Love you, Marf and Dex. Thank you. Well, what do you think? Also, okay, today's show is brought to you by Nord. If you have not yet, right now, that's about to change. I believe that they even do a better deal right now. If you want to help the channel in a different way and protect yourself against cyber threats, make sure to go over to marfooglenews.com/VPN. Let's get our next caller on. And then also just want to remind you, if you do want to protect yourself in public places while on Wi-Fi, protect your kids, your laptops, all of your cell phones. Again, people don't realize you can do a virtual private network on your phones. Make sure to go check this out. marfooglenews.com/VPN, one of the highest rated virtual private networks in the world. Go and use our code at Marfoogle to save a huge amount. All right. And then let's pull this up. All right, Cosmic Cultivators, first-time caller. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Adam? How are you?
I'm doing great. So, what are we talking today?
So, I've been listening to your show for like a year and a half, 2 years-ish, and I hear all these preppers come on, and they talk about their supplies and how they gather stuff and whatnot. But I never hear people talk about gardening, and I would like to, kind of push that issue, because when the stores close down and everything, like, how are you going to get your food? So I just want to bring up the point and the importance of, like, learning how to grow your own food, learning how to save seeds, and, and another thing, just spreading love. Like, there's too much hate in this world. We need more love. And your show is awesome. It rocks, quite frankly, Adam. Dex, Mods, all you guys, and your families. Your families sacrifice a lot as well. And, I'm not naive to realize that. So thank you to everything that you do and all of your families.
Well, it looks like you have quite a channel here. It looks like you're putting a lot of effort, and it's really hard in the very beginning to do a channel like this. So what I see here is that you're doing this just to do it, and you're actually doing it just to put videos out to teach people. So I hope that everybody does do a love mob and heads over to Cosmic Cultivators. Look at this. They've got several actual informational videos here on how to do things. I love this.
I also do a lot of... sorry.
Go ahead.
I do a lot of recycling of trash. For instance, I took a refrigerator and basically gutted it out, and depending on whatever you're looking at there, I replaced an old crappy window with the glass shelves and simply some flex tape, and just repurposing what people would call trash and turning it into things that will give back for years and years to come. That's what we do.
Now, I'm dead serious. So after looking at this, look at this. Every single video has a targeted actual informational purpose here. Look at this. I hope that everybody is actually going over right now.
It's only a couple minutes long. The wife tries to convince me that, longer is better, but I like to get right to the point.
They all do.
Life's too short. Life's too short to sit on in front of a television screen, Like, get out there and do things, people. Make the world a better place.
Well, I'm gonna refresh this throughout the show. I'm gonna send people over. Cosmic Cultivators. I have for 40. It was 42 subscribers when we started. For that much work, and to have you need an audience. You really do. And this is what I talk about when I do love mobs. I hope that it goes towards somebody like this who's already put the work in. There's people that want 1,000 subscribers, their first call, and they have 1 or 2 videos. This gentleman has put in the work. So make sure to go love mob. Cosmic Cultivators.
Here's the thing, Adam. With current events that happened in the last year, I don't need to go on about that. We all know. None of my family, none of my friends, they don't visit me. So I saw YouTube as an outlet to be able to show everybody what I can do without them visiting and being scared of certain things that are going on around here, if you catch my drift.
Yes, I do. And by the way, I actually think the shorter videos are really great for people because they can get a short video that teaches them something. Also, it's better for the algorithm. 10 minutes or less are the best videos on YouTube. Well, thank you so much, Cosmic Cultivator, and I really do. I'm genuinely saying, please, guys, go over the great job and great channel.
Thank you. It's humbling, and I have met other people through you, like Southern Boy Prepper, Lone Star Pioneer, Dumpster Diving Mo. All these guys. It's just a wonderful community you've created, and I want to say thank you to everybody there that puts forth whatever they do to make the show what it is today.
Well, thank you so much. Without you guys, it would be nothing. So I hope that everybody's in this network. You have a great night, Cosmic Cultivator. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, this is incredible. This is what I love to see when channels are like that. You have a great night, Cosmic Cultivator, and I hope you call in again. That was a first-time caller, and they've been doing this much work for virtually no audience, and that's where their heart is. This is what I love to see. I really hope that everybody goes over. If you look at the actual content of the videos, they're doing great things. This is what my wife is doing right now, too. Mrs. Marf is doing tons of gardening. Right now, we have a whole backyard. Look at that. Already up to 229 subscribers. It really does feel good, though, too. If he gets to 1,001, he can live stream from his phone, which you can't do after the NZ event. They took that away from everybody. Also, you can get into the algorithm. You can monetize your channel, so then you can start putting more effort and more, back into your videos. But again, if you are not monetized on YouTube, you cannot blow up. You cannot get your reach. You cannot get any kind of expansion. They made it that way. So make sure to help them. Once you get past 1,000, it's much easier to actually get a reach. Again, I'm going to be checking in the end. Make sure to go over and comment. You can comment on any of these videos, and I'll go over and say hi to you as well.
Gardening too.
What was that?
I shouldn't say we. I said we started gardening too, but I shouldn't. My wife has also been planting, and it's been fun to eat out of our own garden.
Well, yeah. I try to help. I'm basically, she goes, move this over there, and then I carry it. And then she goes, move that over there. That's the extent. But I am learning a lot about it. Okay. Back to the news. Targeting Asia-Pacific defense, Australia to spend $580 million on military upgrades. So we're seeing all of our allies, which, by the way, Dex, do we have the other... I don't know if we have the story. Dex, can you look and see if we can pull up a link about Australia? Somebody in their, one of their officials just said that to prepare for conflict. I forgot to
I'll
add
find
that.
it and I'll throw it in
I
screen.
forgot to add it to the news. Australian official, something like that. Google it and just look at today's stuff because we should add that in. Australia will spend a $747 million or $580 million to upgrade 4 northern military bases and expand war games with the United States, Prime Minister Scott Morrison said on Wednesday. In an announcement that comes amid increasingly bitter diplomatic trade spat with China, which, by the way, started after the event that started that we're all covering our faces for, one of the main reasons why they had this trade spat with Australia is because Australia said, hey, that 3-letter agency that controls all of the event that we're talking about, we want an independent study to go in there and see how this started. Not paid for by that 3-letter agency. And then all of a sudden they were pissed off. They're like, no, the 3-letter agency is perfectly fine. If they do a study, we're good. Because remember, nobody went in and actually tried to figure out where, all of this stuff started. But they would have their own people go in. Fishy, right? So Australia said that, and then all of a sudden they have a trade spat and put like 80% tariffs on stuff and all sorts of crazy stuff. It says Australia must expand its military assets in the Northern Territory to be able to respond to get this, unspecified tensions in the Asia-Pacific region. So they know something that we don't. They've been filled in. They're putting money towards, get this, to expand its military assets in the Northern Territory to be able to respond to unspecified, so they're not telling the public yet, unspecified tensions in the Pacific Asian region. It says, our objective is a free and open Indo-Pacific to ensure a peaceful region, one that at the same time Australia is in a position to always protect its interests. It says, while Morrison avoided naming China on Wednesday, Australia's military focus on the Indo-Pacific area comes amid rising competition between the two for influence in the region in recent years. Relations between Australia and China deteriorated even further after Canberra called last year for an international inquiry to the origins of the prompting trade reprisals from Beijing. Think about this. Why did they trip so bad that they wanted some independent study to come in there? What were the approved ones to come in and look at it? And how is that not freaking weird? How is that not fishy? Look at the whole damn thing. I think people can't wrap their heads around the possibility that the entire world is in on something. Super scary. Shaunovision, hello from Prince Edward Island, Canada. What is going on, Prince Edward Island, Canada? Love it, Shaunovision. And then we've got Kelly2334, and of course, Scooby-Doo right in the house, Richard G, Venus L. Love you guys. Thank you for all coming tonight. And then, again, Candace Thompson, appreciate that. And let's see here. Dex, I don't know if you found that yet, but I'll go into this next one. China unveils Terminator of drones that threatens to make stealth jets obsolete. Preparation Station says, thank you, Adam, Dex, and wives and mods for doing everything you do. Thank you, Preparation Station. In a clear warning to the Pentagon, China has unveiled a range of previously secret military hardware designed to deter American operations in the South China Sea. Among the exhibits of a show at the 3-day 9th World Radar Expo in Nanjing is a device that's already dubbed by defense experts as the Terminator of drones. It says the YLC-48 radar is a portable radar tracker that its developer, the Number 14 Research Institute, says is sensitive enough to spot even the most advanced stealth aircraft, as well as a small ground-hugging drone. A ground-hugging drone. So this is something that, say, the problem was, and with the hypersonics and with some of the new weaponry, is that it would be so low to the ground that the radar wouldn't even pick it up. Because guess what? The radar's got to look at, you're talking about as low as buildings. So if something's moving, heck, it could be, it could be a ground object. It could be a truck. It could be the top of a truck. You're not going to want to set off radar every time a truck drives by. But that's, again, this is what the adversaries and we are coming up with. So this apparently can do that. And it says, according to CETC, their new tech makes state-of-the-art stealth aircraft such as the USA's Lockheed Martin F-22 stealth fighter virtually obsolete. Well, shoot. Too bad we just spent like $5 billion on those. I don't know if we've spent $5 billion, but I'm sure they... $1 billion would be $1 billion too much spent on something that, basically has no purpose now. That's if they put these into place, that is.
That would be $67 billion to be exact.
Oh, that's it? That's only 1/3 of Elon Musk's toilet paper. The radar lightweight and simple one-button operation means it can be deployed virtually anywhere at a moment's notice. This thing is the frickin' Staples Easy button. Whoosh. Boom. All the drones gone. Another anti-drone radar system, the S-band 3D TWA low-altitude surveillance radar, also made its debut at the expo. Wow. Incredible stuff here. Thousands of genetically modified mosquitoes being released in Florida. In other news, Florida man has thousands of bites. Thousands of genetically modified mosquitoes have begun to be released in Florida this week as part of an effort to combat a disease-spreading species of the insect. The Buzzy project from British biotech company Oxitec aims to curb the population of Aedes aegypti mosquitoes, which can spread diseases such as Zika and dengue fever, the Miami Herald reported. It says the project aims to have genetically modified male mosquitoes mate with non-modified females, which are ones that bite. A so-called death mechanism would then act to prevent any resulting female offspring from surviving. It says the female offspring of these encounters cannot survive, and the population of Aedes aegypti is subsequently controlled. I thought at one point, Dex, that they were basically putting out so many males that were sterilized that the women would be doing it all day and basically wouldn't be having babies.
That's what I thought. We reported on the similar scenario. It was maybe a different bug, but maybe it was mosquitoes a couple years ago in Florida. But yeah, this is crazy. I mean, when you think about it, it's genetically modified. So what does that really mean? And like, what are the side effects? And what are they creating?
Well,
and,
so just because it's a insect, we are putting a genetically modified animal out into nature. We're messing with the structure of the food chain, essentially. Are we not altering the nature around us by doing this?
And what if some of them actually do mate and actually do survive? Do they become super mosquitoes?
I don't know. They basically made a super Ron Jeremy mosquito out here, and they don't know how to handle it.
What else would they do this to? Right? Where do you draw the line? Is it just mosquitoes but nowhere else? Or what about the rest of the animal kingdom or humans for that matter?
I don't know. That is spooky. Well, okay, so you did find that link. So let me pull this up. What do you think? Do you think, comment down below, do you think genetically modified insects or animals or humans should be released in public? I doubt, I have an idea of how many people will answer yes, and it's probably very low. Nobody likes mosquitoes, but do you really want genetically modified ones out there? Australia security official warns staff of the drums of war. It says, out of Canberra, Australia, a senior Australian security bureaucrat warned his staff free nations again hear the beating drums of conflict as military tensions rise in the Asia-Pacific region. So it's like, if you tie this with the other story, is it not obvious that they are spending all this money to drill and to put all of their military might into battling China? I mean, it's pretty simple to see. Here's the thing. People say, no, this doesn't happen all the time. Guess what? Look at the newspaper articles. Look at the actual, if you want to sit in a library for hours like I did, go look through the old articles before WW2. Look at the old articles before WW1, but WW2, people think that this was back in the Stone Age. This was WW2. They had plenty of newspapers reporting on all of these issues going on. Back then, they had journalists that would travel and get stories, and it wasn't just a Zoom meeting, right? They put a lot of effort into their writing, and again, we saw the same exact thing. They knew before WW2. If any of you are old enough that you experienced it, which I do know we have some, you know what was said beforehand. This is a very easy thing to see. The writing is not only on the wall, it's right on your eyeballs, and people aren't seeing it. And people say, the thing is most people want this to be fear porn. Most people want this to be fear-mongering. Most people want this to be crying wolf. Most people want this to be Chicken Little. Because then it would take them off the hook for worry. It would take them off the hook for any kind of panic. But that's not how it works. Right now, there is so much right in front of us. And everyone here knows something big is going to happen. I guess most of us kind of want to think like, oh, but it won't affect me. It will be somewhere else in some other far land. If we get in a war with China and Russia, it's not going to be off in some far land. It's going to be the whole world involved. If you're on Australia, if you're in France, look at what every country is doing. Look at what every ally is doing, and look at what every adversary is doing. Allies are preparing for war with them. They are preparing for war with us. It's that easy. Dex, obviously, we're on the same page on this, but
Yeah.
people want it to be, people want it to not be, real. By the way,
Yeah. I had an observation that I wanted to make back to the very first topic you brought up about Deagle. So the one thing I would tell the fam to do, this is kind of a fun thing because it happened to me. We hear these stories all the time about search results, but if you go search for Deagle in the most popular search that rhymes with the name of the show, and then you go search, say, duck duck for the exact same word, it's mind blowing how different the results are. So it just take it for what it's worth, guys. You go do it yourself. Just go search Deagle, the one word, on both systems, and just wonder why is it not being shown to you on one.
And by the way, so with Deagle Report, I want to go and show you. So if we go to, actually, here we go. This is what you see. And there's anyone who's ever going to look at this from now on, I believe that people should keep this alive, but do you realize that this will be kind of a theory online that's just going to disappear? Do you see what I mean? This is now gone. Deagle.com, that whole report, all people will know of it. It was a theory that somebody had. People won't have the actual website. They won't be able to reference the actual data that they collected. Edwin J. Deagle actually had positions. We covered this. Edwin J. Deagle, was incredibly, he had a security clearance way up there. So this wasn't just some crazy guy, living in a Las Vegas sign, thinking that the FBI is watching him. This guy was part of the government, and he did have the clearances. And now it's gone. The Deagle Report is now gone. And I don't think it's coming back. So one thing I want to ask is, is this because he passed away? A lot of people thought that he had this set up for a long time for after he perished. Did somebody in his direct family take it down? Did they take it down because there was a payment thing? Like he's not paying to keep it going? Did his company dissolve? Did his company say, we don't want to do this anymore? Or did they actually take it down because they didn't want this story or the 2025 depopulation kind of thing going? That's a question I want to ask all of you guys. Again, really weird stuff. So if you don't know what the Deagle.com stuff was, I hope it, Dex, now you're a tech expert. Is there a way you can go back in time on the internet? People talk about how
That's going to be interesting. That's the next thing I'm going to go look for, is to see if it was archived. I know people have got screenshots and things, and I'm trying to collect some myself. But
We should have.
it'll be interesting to see if the archives, like the Internet Archive and other Wayback Machines out there, if they actually get purged from this as well.
Yeah, that would be.
Because typically
spooky.
they don't remove stuff, but if they do, that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, actually. How many of you have gone to Deagle.com for a long time? How many of you have shared Deagle.com with other people to show them that? And now it's just like it's a thing of the past. It doesn't exist. Deagle, it's still on YouTube. Terry Tension, I guess videos of it. Yeah, I have. Yep. A lot of people, yeah. I mean, MRSA, guilty. Yes. I have many times. Sad. It is kind of sad. Been there, saw it. I've looked at it. Nothing to see here, says Twisted Luck Truth. That's exactly right. Robert Omo, what's going on? The something big will affect everyone. Have supplies. I agree with you. Kathleen Beams. The guy running it past, his family took it down. Doubther. That very well could be the scenario here. But the information that I heard is that he had it set up. Like before he died, he talked about how he wanted that to stay up. So I think it's weird.
I got the archive link in Screener.
All right, let's take a peek at it. By the way, real quick.
And while you're doing that, that link's courtesy of Foogle fan member Sam2943. Thank you for posting that.
Sam2943, thank you so much. By the way, Gone Girl, hi, I love Adam and Dex mods. I'm listening to the show. I'm just very tired. I watched the replay because I'm not going to make it all the way through. LOL, sleepy. Love the Foogle fam. Gone Girl, that's totally fine. I know you're going through a lot there. Don't worry about that. And thank you for your support. Michael C., thank you for your support. Over on PayPal, it looks like during the show. Tiffany K., been with y'all a long time and thought it was time to set up and help out. Y'all do a great job. Thanks. Greet Trib. Thank you, Tiffany. I really do appreciate that, Tiffany K. And thank you for going over and doing that. Survival Living, a.k.a. CFP. You know you don't have to do that. Thank you so much. Again, Central Florida Prepper. Survival Living, a.k.a. Central Florida Prepper. Thank you for your support. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, you should anyways. And again, we're doing Prepper Minutes very soon here. Okay, so here's the Deagle archive. Let's pull this up. Okay. So, Dex, how does this work? So this is an archive of what it used to look like, right? Or is this a...
Yeah, these systems, these Wayback Machines, they take snapshots of the websites over time and they store them. So this is just what they captured at the time. All the links and all the information may or may not work depending on how they archive it. I've found sometimes when you look at these, you get more information. Sometimes you only get a little bit and some of it's missing. But yeah, and then they usually will have historical, like you can go back in time and see what the website looked like, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, et cetera. But this is the one that Sam posted. So I just thought we could pull it up real quick just to let people see it since it's now gone.
So this is what it showed, right? So based off of all of the information, including by the W, H, and the O, this was data taken from all of the world governments, scientists. Here it shows 326 million as of, this was on Friday, August 21st, 2020. It showed a prediction of the population going down to 99 million. That our GDP, and what is really even creepier is all of the allies on this list go down, and all of the adversaries go up. So, like China, for example, China went up. Was it down here? No, okay. France, their population would be cut in half. Italy by 20 million. Mexico stays the same. Indonesia goes up. Japan cut by 20 million. Russia stays about the same by less than 1 million. India goes up by, what is this? 60 million people. China goes down by about 20 million. Actually, at some point, I think, and then their GDP goes from $11 billion to $16 billion or something like that, or a trillion, whatever that number was. And the USA goes from 19 down to 2. So what are these predictions based on? They're based on patterns, trends, data, all sorts of things. And once you realize who Edwin J. Deagle was, what his security clearance was, what his expertise was, what he was asked to do for the government, then you go, holy crud. This is creepy. And why 2025? What is happening in the next 3 years? 4 years. I'm math good at. In 3 years, I like. What were we talking about? You get the point. Sharon Draper, thank you for subscribing. Sandra Boxer, Dana, Delicat, and of course David Eartham, thank you and welcome to the fam. Ben1243, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. I will come find you and I will shout you out. Thank you for being a new subscriber and thank you for being a part of the fam. You are honestly now welcome in any room here. Thank you. And you are invited for tea. Vicky Berry, thank you so much over on D-Live. All of the Mafia, Purple Badge, give it up. And then we, of course, have Truth Wins, Toadman. We've got WJS Jan. We've got Black Labs. What is going on? Suzy Q, Hopkinson, Shanovision. Thank you, everybody that supported over there as well. Gone Girl 777, End Times. Of course, the wonderful veteran Steve. You guys are all awesome, amazing. Amy R., Susan Donahue. Hopefully you had a good day today, and I am wishing you much love. Let's go over to Dex. Dex, we have web-only content that is pretty fiery.
Yeah, there's some interesting happenings with what's going on in Arizona. There's a prominent political figure and former mayor and attorney who got had his house looked at by some authorities. So there's some interesting things going on in there. Go take a look.
All right, I am sure we will. Just to check on Chainbreakers, almost 100 subscribers here. And then let's go over to Cosmic Cultivators. Last we checked was at 229. Started at 40, I think 42 subscribers. Let's check where we are at with Cosmic Cultivators. Almost 400 subscribers in a single day. That is awesome. I hope that all of the replay watchers get them to 1,000 so we can celebrate it on tomorrow's show. I really do appreciate all of you guys helping out each other. Again, there's very few channels that actually do this because they actually think of it as you know, it's a bad thing to help other channels. I think we should be pushing each other up, and this should be the strongest network in the world. We should back each other up when people get taken down. We should, everything. It should happen every day. All right, let's... Dex, thank you, my internet brother, for everything. I think we hit everything.
Yeah, we did. Great show, brother.
All right, you guys, now it is officially time for the shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout-out. It's a shoutro. Why isn't the button working? This is super awkward. My headphones don't reach. I can't go off screen.
I'm going back round and I've got to pass ya. Tsunami big enough to get me, and it sure as hell gonna get you. I was walking on the streets I knew when I saw that wave of blue. Tsunami big enough to get me, and it sure as hell gonna get you. Gregor true in the Roman wolf and Mercer ones I see. Growing with Wally, it's been a while, but I'm thankful to see. Do not give up, Lillian Arlon, knowing able-bodied. Billie Jean, Cosmic Cultivators, and Billie Jean. I was walking on the streets I knew when I saw that wave of blue. Tsunami big enough to get me, and it sure as hell gonna get you. People say it's all lie, it's made on the spot and it's right. Only if it is wrong. Catherine, Willie, and Mr. Strong, Letitia Stoll, and Sandra in Texas. Going down, now we've got these messages. I was walking on the streets I knew when I saw that wave of blue. Tsunami big enough to get me, and it sure as hell gonna get you. I was walking on the streets I knew when I saw that wave of blue. Tsunami big enough to get me, and it sure as hell gonna get you. I got this handcuff, bring it all the way down with the day not delicate. I'm gonna hit it all on the part with the bad. Thank you for all of your support, and in short, I must say I love all of you, and no favorites. I was walking on the streets I knew when I saw that wave of blue. Tsunami big enough to get me, and it sure as hell gonna get you. Ooh, big grandma and a Quinton pirate, Jaw Farmley, Summer Shell, a little wolf, and a Juski 420 unicorn, island by the sea and the out of the woods. Haku, Pono, I am so good. ATR, 3KB, JMB, 053 with the London and the Geo Half and the Poco Loco and Mr. Sus. Tsunami big enough to get me, and it sure as hell gonna get you. I was walking on the streets I knew when I saw that wave of blue. Thank you for all of the top supporters over on D-Live. Thank you for the amazing people on YouTube. Preparation Station, James Parks, thank you. Love what you do, Lyle Neep, Candace Thompson, Kevin Fugelfam, Oh Damn, Dano Martinez, Ilea, Project Exodus, Gone Girl 777, Perfect Truth, Pixie Sticks, Rapture Watcher, Owl Wise Owl, Diana, Amber in the Box, Mr. Humility, Keith Dyke, Faithful Prepper, James Fox, Old Ghost, Ranger Rob, Country Living, and of course, Brandon Scott. Big shout out to Brandon Henschel. So much potential. I was walking on the streets I knew when I saw that wave of blue. Tsunami big enough to get me, and it sure as hell gonna get you. I've got the always out and the Diana going right back, and you my pal. We've got the rapture hanging over our heads. No, we won't be caught on the side, and we won't be caught out of sight. We can't hide from these satellites. Now they're gonna get the leaves moving in the wind. I rescind all of my comments in the within. Tsunami big enough to get me, and it sure as hell gonna get you. I was walking on the streets I knew when I saw that wave of blue. Tsunami big enough to get me, and it sure as hell gonna get you. I was walking on the streets I knew when I saw that wave of blue. It looks like Kelly2334 is our number one tonight over on D-Live. Kelly2334, never gonna ask for more. Cali 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Cali